Okay, so now that we've completed the two parts and imported them into our assembly drawing, what we want to do now is complete the mate and then demonstrate a animated collapse or exploded view with our assembly. So what we're going to do is mate these two components, and we'll come over to the mate icon and we'll select coincident. And what we can do is use the midpoint of the lower edge of the top block, and we'll mate that to the midpoint of the bottom block. And so we've now completed the mate of the two blocks. So what we would like to do now is take a look at how we can make an exploded view. Under the assembly ribbon, all the way over on the right hand side, I can now click exploded view, and what I'm going to see is I get to take a look at a 3-axis picture where I can move parts relative using the X, Y, Z coordinates. So what I'm going to do is left click on the front face and move my cursor so that it's selecting the X-axis arrow, left click, and then slide the block back into a new position. So there's the completion of the first step of my exploded view. Now what I can do is complete the process by again selecting a face on the top block, moving my cursor over, this time to the Y arrow, left clicking, and now raising the block off of the lower block. This is going to complete the repositioning for my exploded view. Hitting the F key, I can now center that. Now what we can do with this is toggle back and forth between the exploded view and the collapsed view. If I come back over to my assembly and right click, notice on my pop-up menu I have the command for collapse, and if I left click on that, my assembly goes back into the original mate or collapsed position. If I were to go back to my assembly in the features tree, right click again, I now have the option of explode, and I can left click on that to bring me back out to the exploded view. One of the fun things to do is to create a small animation of your exploded steps. So going back into the features tree and right clicking, I have what's called an animated collapse since we're already exploded. And so now notice SOLIDWORKS will take us through the two steps. And so here's your animation controller. You have playback mode. You can repeat the loop. You can make it run at half speed, make it run at double speed. So you can set this to various parameters. You can stop it in any position, and you could actually save the animation as an AV file, which is kind of neat, and you can obviously bring that into any professional presentations that you might be doing. So the animation controller is something that you guys can use to go along with creating these animation collapses. What we want to do next is to take a look at how we can bring our exploded view into a drawing file.